are amazing. I couldn't be happier with this company.
We absolutely love these cages.
One at a time, okay, guys? Morning, everyone. Welcome to another Morning Musings. Happy Father's Day to everyone out there. I hope you guys have a great day planned and get to spend time with your kids and stuff like that, especially the fathers who are pulling double duty, raising their kids, for the fathers who are raising kids that aren't theirs. Happy Father's Day to everyone. Okay, so what we got going on today is basically just another morning musings, but we have a few changes on our giveaways, and I'll tell you that in a minute. First, a shout out to our sponsors, HP Murray over at Gopher Ridge Quail Farm. HP's a great guy. He's been around here. Well, he's been in the quail world for a long time, but he's been around supporting Coturnix Corner for a while, and we really appreciate it. And he's donating some hatching eggs to give away today on the live stream, so that's much appreciated. And also big shout out to Hatching Time. And Hatching Time, they've been around since day one as far as Coturnix Corner is concerned. And every week they give us a $50 Hatching Time gift certificate for you to spend over on their website. We're doing a little bit different here, and I hope we don't run off some people by doing this, but the giveaways today are for dads only. So if you are a dad, and when we announce the giveaways or the hashtags for the giveaways, comment over in the chat room with the hashtag that we let you know, and we'll put you in the drawing for the hatching eggs. The $50 gift certificate from Hatching Time, that's going to go to anybody. Anybody that wants a $50 gift certificate, we'll do the hashtag for that later on the show. Also, I had a bunch of people email me. I guess they were under the impression that I was up in Michigan because I've been saying that I'm going to Michigan. Why don't I just remove that? There we go. I was supposed to go to Michigan the first week of this month, but we had an issue. My wife's been a little bit sick, and I just didn't feel comfortable going up there and leaving her here alone. So we put the trip off to Michigan for probably, hopefully, early fall. I'd like to get up there before it gets too cold, but yeah, that's what's going on as far as Michigan's concerned. As far as the giveaways, HP reached out to them yesterday, and we're going to do two hatching egg giveaways today. One is going to be the regular 30 count of variety choice hatching eggs, and the second one will be a color choice. You get to select what color hatching eggs you want, or what color variety you want of hatching eggs from HP. So like I said, in a little bit here, we'll go ahead and give you the hashtag to get entered into those drawings. But like I said, for the hatching eggs, please keep it fathers only. It's kind of a Father's Day celebration. And then the $50 gift certificate, anybody can get into that. Let's see, anything else? I don't think so. It's been kind of slow around here. It's been kind of hot around here, unbelievably hot. I've got to work the bees this afternoon, and I'm kind of dreading that because it's supposed to be triple digits heat index later on this afternoon. And by the time I get done with the live stream, I don't know what it's going to be like out there. So I might have to take a break and wait till tomorrow. What did I do? I hit the stupid button again. All right, let's go ahead and jump over in the chat room and see what's going on. For those of you that we talked last week about doing another bee live stream, I did send the word out to the guys that offered to come on the live stream, and they are going to get with me with a date, and I'll let you know. It's probably going to be one of the morning musings, possibly a Tuesday. I can't say for sure. It's going to depend on their schedule, but yeah, we're gonna have another bee live stream coming up here in the near future. All right, over in the chat room, we got Paula Davis says hello. Good morning, Paula. Glad you could join us. Homestead Matters says happy Father's Day to all the dads. Hope everyone is doing well. Absolutely. Jeffrey says hello from Kentucky. Happy Father's Day to the dads. Absolutely. Maurice Straubel's in the house. Says good morning, everyone. Happy Father's Day from West Michigan, Quail. Oh, my bird. My little, I don't know if you guys see that little box right there. That's my mourning dove that fell out of the sky one day for me, and I've been taking care of. He's doing really good. He's flying now. I got him switched over from what do they call it? The crop milk. He's over on seed now. He's eating seed, so he's making good progress. I'm still trying to figure out how I can transition him or her, whatever it is, to become a wild bird again, because I don't want to keep the thing. But I'm afraid to just, let him go one day and, a hawk or something gets him. So if anybody's ever done that, if anybody's rescued a bird and, released it back into the wild, let me know how you did that. Because like I say, that's my only concern right now is making sure that he's ready to be a wild bird. You want those like that? Go on. Go. Go on. Yeah. Okay. Viking Chick is in the house. Says good morning, Quail friends. Glad you could join us, Viking Chick. Brian Edwards says good morning from Central Texas. Good morning. Papa's in the house. Says morning all. Morning, Papa. Glad you could join us. And Woodtick 1970 says morning, y'all. Glad you could join us, Woodtick. Muddy Acres Homestead says good morning. Dan says good morning from Fremont, Wisconsin. Good morning. Don Skins in the house says good morning from South Mississippi. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you, Don. Thanks for joining us today. Holly George says good morning and happy Father's Day. Thank you, Holly. Much appreciated. John says good morning all and happy Father's Day to all the dads. As to you, John. Thanks for joining us today. Yes, Wasaki says happy Father's Day. Chris from Perrysburg, Ohio. Thanks for joining us, Chris. Tater Farms in the house says greatest of mornings and happy Father's Day from Central Georgia. Andy Rabbit's in the house says good morning. Here we go. HP's in the house says greetings to all. Happy Father's Day, guys. I have to run shortly, pastoring again. Anytime you got to take off, HP. Appreciate you checking in, and thank you very much for the giveaways today. And I will be getting back with you later on this afternoon. Gorgolian says, happy Father's Day. Cool. Nadia says, good morning. Glad you could join us, Nadia. Costello Hobby Farm says, good morning from Alabama. Sweet home, Alabama. Let's see. Liliana says, good morning from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Very cool. I love it when we get people in from overseas and out of the country. Did you guys see that that India airline crash? That was crazy. I was doing I didn't even know what happened. I wasn't paying much attention to it, but I was doing a little research yesterday on it. They changed. At first, they said it was pilot error. And then I watched it again last night. Some commercial pilots were giving their thoughts on it. And after they got the, what do they call that? The flight tower logs. They actually did call in a mayday and said a loss of power. So, yeah, it looks like they had a double engine failure, which there's a thing called a rat. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's a little generator with a prop on it that deploys to supply power for the airplane in the event of a major catastrophe like that, so they can, keep the hydraulics and whatnot, so they can still fly the plane. But I guess it was being that low to the ground, they didn't have a whole lot of time to, do anything. Once a big airline like that, and that's a 787. Holy smokes, that's a big plane. Muddy Acres Homestead says, HP, thank you for sponsoring. Absolutely. Thanks for joining us, Muddy Acres. Woohoo, I'm a father. I figure there's a lot of fathers in here today. But like I said, even the mothers or the young ladies that are in here, they can get a $50 Hatching Time gift certificate if they want. CFD comes in the house, says, good morning. Papa says, proud dad of 2 wonderful girls. Very cool. Let's see. Rosa says, happy Father's Day. Glad you're giving to the fathers on Father's Day. Yeah, I thought it was only fitting. So, Don Skin says, we have some Gopher Ridge eggs in the incubator right now. Cool. Congratulations, Don. Hope you get a good hatch. I've got turkey eggs in the incubator right now. I got, I think she sent me 7 eggs, 6 or 7. 7. And they're red bourbon turkeys. And that came from Bryant's Roost. Jennifer over there sent them to me. So I'm really excited to see. I've never hatched a turkey egg before. So I'm really, excited. And hopefully I'm successful. So we got something to eat come dinner or come Thanksgiving. And if not, looks like we're having ham. Brian Allen says, good morning from Alabama. Happy Father's Day. Papa says, I have HP eggs in the incubator right now. Cool. That's a good thing to have eggs, especially HP eggs. I love his birds. Wow. CF Deacon says, father of 7 here. Wow. Congratulations. Freight Hauler says, good morning and happy Father's Day. Morning, Freight Hauler. Glad you could join us today. Christopher Bain says, good morning. Happy Father's Day to all the dads. I'm a proud dad of 2 boys and 2 daughters. Congratulations. And thank you for the happy Father's Day. Freight Hauler says, proud dad of 3 boys. Very cool. Butterfly Me Away is in the house this morning, and happy Father's Day from sunny Charleston, South Carolina. Glad you could join us. Annie's in the house. Says happy Father's Day. Thank you, Annie. Chris says good morning from Tennessee. Welcome, Chris. Carolina says, hello, good and great day. Glad you could join us, Carolina. And he says, any suggestions as how to introduce a young female with wry neck into a flock? I only ended up with 1 quail from my hatching a few weeks ago. Yeah, no, Annie, you're not going to want to hear this. But when I get birds like that have, either genetic defect or a physical defect, especially wry neck, I don't even try to fix it. I just cull the bird. There's no sense in my book, of trying to save a bird like that. There are some people that will give vitamin supplements for wry neck. I don't know exactly what it is, but like I said, I don't keep weak birds. To breed strong, healthy birds, you've got to keep strong, healthy birds and cull out the stuff that's not. I hope I didn't ruin your day, but that's just my thoughts on it. Sexton Outdoors says, good morning, everyone from Kentucky. Glad you could join us. Tater Farm says, I need to get another round of HP Jumbo White Wings. They're huge birds, lay big eggs, and have a wonderful, wonderful temperament. Yeah, that would be probably something I'd be interested in. I really like his Egyptians. His Egyptians are some of the largest Egyptians I've ever hatched out. And they all look really, really good, really healthy. I've had a lot of HP's different color varieties, and I really like all of them, even the sparkly lines. Cargolian says, yep, still trying to find out if any family was on it on my aunt's side since I can't contact her easily. Oh, I hope you're not talking about the flight. That's kind of scary. And you saw that guy that survived the flight? What are the odds of being, in that seat? That was the only seat that he possibly could have survived, they said. And the way the plane split right there, I guess it allowed him to get out. I don't know if he got out through the emergency exit or he was ejected through the split in the airline, but or in the fuselage. So who knows? Costello Hobby Farm says, question, I got some Tennessee red quail this week, wondering if you ever heard of them before. I guess they're a mutation of the bobwhite. As far as I know, they are a color variety of the bobwhite. I'm not a big bobwhite quail person. I've only hatched bobwhites once for a dog trainer, and so they were just your standard bobwhites. But I have heard of the Tennessee red bobwhite. So that would be a good question for HP. I don't know if he's still in the house or not, but he's got experience with them, or with game birds. Muddy Acres Homestead says, Tater, that's what I want too. Constantin, good morning, everyone. Glad you could join us. Francois, hello, how are you? From Lebanon. Good day. Glad you could join us, Francois. Thanks for checking in from Lebanon. Holly Griffiths in the house says, good morning. Best Father's Day to the dads. Thank you very much, and thanks for joining us, Holly. Katrina says, hey, from Minnesota, I've been getting heavy rain the last 3 days. Forecast predicting another 3. Wow. Lots of people with wet basements and standing water in the fields. People in boats in the local mall parking lot. Wow, that's crazy. We could use, I mean, we're starting to catch up. We still got a deficit as far as rainfall, but it's starting to catch up as this, rainy season rains get a little bit more regular. But we don't need 6 days back to back. I can tell you that much. Francois says, happy Father's Day. Thank you very much. Kurt's in the house says, happy Father's Day and good morning from Michigan. Glad you could join us, Kurt. Andy Rabbit says, happy Father's Day. Brian Edwards says, I'm a proud dad of 2 wonderful girls. Congratulations. Costello Hobby Farm says, proud dad of 3 boys and 3 girls and 1 baby in heaven. Well, congratulations, and sorry to hear about the baby in heaven. But okay, here we go. Carolina waves at us. Gopher Ridge said the Father's Day sale is still going on for the 30 count variety box on the website. Just a little backup from it. And thanks all. I forgot all about that, HP, and I apologize. He is having a Father's Day sale. Hold on, I got to go over to Facebook. He has a Father's Day sale going on that, I can't log in from this computer. I forgot about that. You can get for I think it's $18 in shipping. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, Gopher Ridge Quail Farm, special for Father's Day. 27 count variety box of Coturnix hatching eggs, $18 plus shipping, no code required. But he also has if you want a specific color variety, he also has that at 20% off if you use the coupon code CC20 over on gopherridgequail.com. So head on over to gopherridgequail.com and get your orders in. Holly says, morning from Michigan too. Glad you could join us, Holly. Margot Lane says, I am. I know she wasn't on it, and some of her family go to India regularly. Cool. That's good to hear. Salvador's in the house. Says, hi, Terry and everyone. Glad you could join us, Salvador. It's been a while. Fred Holler says, have you had any problems with fire ants in your quail in the aviary? No, I do have, because my aviary is on a concrete slab, I do have fire ant nest underneath that slab. And if it rains real heavy, they will build up like a mound around the outside edge of that thing. But knock on wood, I've never seen them in the aviary. I just make sure that, I don't leave anything that would interest the fire ants as far as food or anything in there. But for the most part, no, I've never had any issues with fire ants. Now, as far as the bees go, I have had several different species of ants try to get into my beehives. A lot of them are sweet-eating ants, so they're after the honey and whatnot. But as long as you keep the colony size up, they can pretty much handle the ants. Gopher's Quail says just a color. I think they're like 10 different bob colors. Okay. It's kind of what I figured, but thanks for verifying that, HP. Matilda? Finally catching you live. Well, I'm glad you did. And I hope I got your name right. Homestead Matter says, Costello, for Tennessee Reds, I believe Gidross Family Farms has some experience with them if you want to check them too. Bob says, I have never had a broody quail, but I have one now. She's been sitting on about 12 eggs for about a week outside hutch. Cool. Congratulations. And hopefully she gets a good hatch. I actually had a couple quail in the aviary were going broody. And I had one quail that was collecting the eggs from all over the aviary and pulling them over to her little nest. And I would have never believed it. I thought, they were just everybody was laying eggs in the same spot. But I caught her one day. I was going out there to feed them, and she was sure enough just dragging an egg back to her little nest spot. Bob said, am I wasting her time, or should I give her a chance if they hatch? I should leave them in the hutch with the other 13 adults, 10 hens, 3 roosters. No, you're probably not wasting your time. You can leave her in with all the other birds. I've seen several people have successful hatches, from a broody hen. And she's going to let those other birds know that, hey, I'm broody. You're not messing with anything that I'm sitting on. And she'll protect those chicks once they hatch out. So, no, give it a shot. I mean, if they can hatch, if the mother can hatch them, let them do it. Muddy Acres Homestead said, if I get a Father's Day special, can I delay shipping? I'm traveling next weekend for my son's wedding. Yeah, absolutely. I just, if you get it, I'll, put a note in it to HP that you'll get a hold of them and let them know when you want to ship it. Kergolian says, I had quail with wryneck in my coop. They got along fine, but she was the only one quail I lost in the heat last summer. Okay. Yeah, like I say, I don't try to save animals that, have just deformities or whatnot like that. What is this? Weekly report. I'm on a brain time delay for some things. I hear you. All right. Wow. That was quick. We're down to the bottom of the list already. Let's go ahead. Yeah, we're about halfway through. Let's go ahead and give away the regular variety of hatching eggs from HP. Go ahead and comment Father's Day, all one word, all lowercase. Hashtag Father's Day. I'm sorry, I forgot the hashtag. And we will do the giveaway in a second. If anybody else has any questions or comments, get them in the chat room now. Yeah, Father's Day is all one word, no apostrophe before the S, and make sure you get the hashtag in there. Yeah, it looks like everybody's getting it right. We'll give it a few minutes on Bergelin says she was a part of my first hatch ever, so it was hard not to keep her around. Yeah, I understand that. I mean, I can't say that I've never tried to save a chick. I've actually had, some color varieties come in that I really wanted, to keep. And, if I had a chick or two out of there that wasn't, up to par, I might have tried to save it. That was early on. But I got to where, when I was doing, between 300 and 500 birds, hatching out chicks, every other day, that I couldn't, take the time to cater to an unhealthy chick, I guess. All right, we still got quite a few comments coming in on the Father's Day. And you guys only need to enter at one time. Putting it in more than once doesn't give you any better chance. All right. Anything else going on around here? Sexton Outdoors says, "What's HP's largest birds?" I think he was telling me that his jumbo white wings are his biggest as far as Coturnix go. Obviously, he's got other birds that get a lot bigger than that. But yeah, as far as the Coturnix, I believe he said his jumbo white wings were the largest. Yes, Tater Farm fathers only on the hatching eggs. That is correct. Yeah, so hopefully everyone caught that. I should have pointed that out. Only fathers can enter the hatching egg giveaway. I should have mentioned that. Freight Hauler says, "I have a wild bobwhite male and female, a couple that forage under my bird feeder. They live in the woods next to my house. I didn't see them for a week. Yesterday they came by with about 8 newborns." Wow, that is cool. Showing them where the food is now. Yeah, that's pretty neat. My brother-in-law, Maury, over at West Michigan Quail, I think my sister told me that he was in there and had a couple birds get out in his aviary, bobwhites, and he caught one of them, but the other one got away. But I think she said that he kept coming back. I don't know whether he's coming back for food or what, but all right, we'll take this question, then we'll go ahead and do the drawing. Gorgolian says, "Yeah, I fully agree. I'm still small, but once I do get to running the aviary and the shed with cages, then they will be raised to size and processed. Found a neighbor who has bird dogs and they want some quail." Yeah, that's nice when you've got, somebody that can use, subpar quail, we'll call them, like dogs, or use them for training or whatever. That works out really well. All right, let's go ahead and switch on over to the drawing. Gotta go down there to share screen. The giveaway tool, share. All right, looks like we got it right. Let's see how many comments we got. We got 29 comments for the giveaway, and we'll do the drawing. Now remember, this is only for guys, so if a young lady wins, we're going to have to deny them. Back to Nature, Suburban. I can't see the whole thing. Back to Nature, Suburban Street, I guess it might be, is the winner. Let me get over my other screen. You need to know. You need to send me your shipping information to. Can't send it to Terry at Coturnixcorner.com because that domain is currently not active. I'm going to put my personal email in there. It's kc4tm@comcast.net. Send me your shipping information to that email address and make sure I get a good address, a good email, and a good phone number. And that will go over to HP. We're going to do another drawing here in just a little bit. Let's see if we have any more questions or comments. Go ahead and get your questions or comments in, guys. Otherwise, we're going to pull the plug and make this a short live stream. Andrew Rabbit said, "I would love to hear more bobwhites in the wild again." Yeah, me too. I used to love it. They used to scare me to death. I'd be walking through the woods. I mean, I'm out there hunting, carrying a gun, and one would flush. And if it didn't scare me to pieces, I mean, it was crazy. But yeah, it'd be nice to hear them out there again. Okay. All right. For everyone else, let's go ahead and give away a $50 gift certificate from Hatching Time. Go ahead and comment hashtag Hatching Time, all lowercase, and all one word. And anyone can enter that. Young ladies, young men, anyone can enter it. John says fire ants were brought up. Would the birds not eat them? I have never seen any of my birds go after fire ants. I don't know if they could bite them or whatnot, but yeah, I've never had any of the birds want to eat them. So Papa says in Ohio, quail and pheasant are almost never seen. Wow, that's crazy. I remember back when I was younger in Michigan, my mom's got a little chunk of woods behind her house, and there were always back then it used to be a field because it was more like a garden, but there was always ringneck pheasants cutting through there. I don't think I've ever seen bobwhite or any other quail through there, but always ringnecks and rabbits and whatnot. And now that my mom let it grow up, she let the trees and everything grow. She's got whitetail back in there. My sister's taking pictures of foxes and whatnot back there. So yeah, she's got her little sanctuary going, but I will have quite a few people commenting hatching time. Yeah, absolutely. Andy says, I don't know if quail will eat them, but I know fire ants will kill a litter of newborn rabbits. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. If you had, any issues with your quail that say one got injured and couldn't move, fire ants are terrible. I mean, they'll destroy that carcass in no time. But that's a shame that they got to your rabbits. All right. I think we've got enough drawings now for the hatching time. Let's go ahead and do another share screen. Okay, there was our previous winner. Let's go back. Choose the live stream, Morning Musings, and the hashtag is going to be hashtag hatching time. Okay, get your comments in, guys. Start collecting comments. We have 32 on this one. Why is accept all cookies? All right, let's draw and see who's going to get a $50 hatching time gift certificate. Maury Strauble won a $50 hatching time gift certificate. Maury, you know the routine. Send me a good email address and I will get that out to you. I need the previous winner. Hold on, guys. I guess I can get it off the live stream. All right, no problem there. All right, you get back to my regular screen here. All right, Maury, congratulations. $50 hatching time gift certificate will be on its way to you. You'll probably get it tomorrow. Usually, if I send it into them tonight, you'll get it by tomorrow. Okay, where was the last comment? Looks like it was Andy Rabbit. Andy says, the Rhineck female, I think, was shrink wrapped. I helped her out because I could not stand listening to the cheeping, and I helped her out. Yeah, I can understand that. That's another thing that I do not do is I do not help chicks out of the egg. It's a whole nother, it's survival of the fittest. If you're not strong enough to get out of an egg, then yeah, you're probably not going to make it in life anyhow. But let's see. Chris says my Rhode Island Reds will not mess with the fire ants. Yeah, I don't even mess with fire ants. I can't not stand those things. And I just saw something on the news not too long ago about the new ant. It's a new invasive species. It is a venomous ant like the fire ant, but I guess the venom is strong enough, and it is here in Florida. I can't remember the name of the ant though, but they said that people with allergies, that can actually put them into anaphylactic shock. So there we go, getting a bunch of. Florida seems to be the dumping ground for invasive species. I think we've got the pythons and everything else out there. All right, where are we here? Costello Hobby Farm says, I'm a garbage man for my regular job, and they are my enemy. Can be dangerous when they bite you and you're hanging on the side of the truck. Yeah, I can imagine. I actually hauled trash for in some of my younger days. I remember the first time I came to Florida, never knew anything about fire ants, never even seen them. And I crashed out on the ground next to my motorcycle, and I was woken up pretty abruptly by like 10,000 fire ants. It's almost like they crawl on you, and then one of them gives them the signal to attack. But I was covered, and that was a hard lesson learned. Great Holler says, and the reason I asked the question about the fire ants is because I'm getting ready to move my quail to an outside quail tractor. Yeah, I mean, I would just be really careful where you move your tractor to. I think as long as you don't actually park that tractor on top of a fire ant mound, I think you'll be fine. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea to treat any mounds that you've got in your yard to try to get rid of them. The only problem with treating them, I don't treat them anymore, but it seems to me like when we did treat back when we first moved into this place, one mound would turn into two, and then you treat those two and they turn into four. I don't know what was going on, but it seemed like that's what was happening. Muddy Acres Homestead says, when we lived in Iowa, we had tons of pheasant and quail. Farmers have destroyed the habitat. Yeah, it's a shame, and it's progress. And it's the commercial farming is what really messed stuff up. All these big even with honeybees, all these big monocrop farms that are, spraying herbicides and pesticides and whatnot. And they wonder why the bees are dying. I mean, this year they had the largest die-off. They're calling it a colony collapse disorder, which it's really not, because they were poisoned. They got diseases or viruses and stuff that they couldn't come back from. So, anything that's happening to the bees is our fault. But yeah, as far as farmers destroying the habitat, yeah, they're doing the big monocrop things, and it's affecting everything. Tater Farm says, we have to pay for a permit to release bobwhites in the wild in Georgia. I love their calls too. Well, that's crazy. I mean, yeah, I guess it's probably a good idea. They want to know who's releasing what and where. Holly Griffin said, of yesterday's farmers market, a gentleman wanted to see about purchasing birds for actual hunting. I told him I needed to check. Our birds aren't too domesticated. Aren't our birds too domesticated to use for hunting? If you're talking about bobwhites, I mean, they do it all the time. We've got a local, what's it called? Cecil Webb Wildlife Management Area. They release bobwhites all the time for hunting. Now, if it's Coturnix, yeah, don't even waste your time, because half the time they're not going to flush. They'd probably come running up to you wanting food or something, but yeah, they do release bobwhites down here locally. I don't know if the breeders that breed them raise them up differently. They probably keep them in big flight pens and stuff, so the birds, have that flight instinct or that flushing instinct. Katrina says, constantly seeing pheasants on the shoulders of roads, very beautiful birds and beautiful to see them fly. Yeah, I love ringneck pheasants. Matter of fact, I was at one time looking to see if I could get some ringnecks to keep here, but I kind of talked myself out of it when I got into Coturnix. Papa says, you need a license here in Ohio to raise any native animals. I think you're going to find that's pretty much anywhere. Florida does have a game bird or game farm license, but I think I want to say if it's over 50 birds or over 100 birds, you have to purchase that license. And it used to be, I'm not sure how it is now because I don't really check into it much, but it used to be Coturnix were excluded from that. But the last time I checked Florida Fish and Game website, Coturnix was included. So it may be that you have to have a game bird farm license now if you have over 50 Coturnix. Papa says, what are some good vegetable plants to give quail as treats, subliminal food? I gave mine cucumbers all the time. They loved them. Watermelon, especially when it's really hot out, those are good foods to help them stay hydrated. But as far as, I do it the same as I do with my chickens. When we eat dinner, we scrape the plates, and I would take that out to the pen and dump it on the floor, or out to the aviary and dump it on the floor, and they would eat what they wanted. And 90% of the time, it was pretty much everything was gone. So, we just treat them with everything. The only thing you don't want to give them, I would feed mine tomatoes. And tomato is that's not the tomato that's poisonous to them, but the vines are. I'm trying to think of what they call them again. They're in the nightshade family, I think it is. And have you ever fed your quail comfrey? I've never even heard of comfrey. So no. Rosa says, could you have Bob's and Coturnix in the same aviary? I think you're saying. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't want to answer that and find out that it's not a good idea. That'd be a good question for HP, because he's kept, both varieties. I would be inclined to say no, but who knows? Yes, Westaki says, I get the Ryeneck call. What about working with a leg injury? Do you call it work to heal? No, like I said, anything that I've had hens that got beat up, and they got, like a scalp injury to where they're bleeding. Yeah, especially if it was a good hen, color variety that I really wanted to keep going. Yes, I would work with them and try to save them. As far as, injuries to the leg, like a broken leg or pulled muscles, stuff like that. No, I just didn't take the time. Not that the bird wasn't healthy prior to that, but it's a lot of work for one bird. To me, it was, just a lot easier to call that and replace it with another, healthy bird. So I hate to sound cold, but, when you got, and that's really not that many birds, 300 to 500 birds isn't that much. But, if you've got to take one bird and have a cage space for that bird, it really ties you up time-wise and space-wise. So, yeah, I wasn't into doing that. Gorgolian says, great. I'm already allergic to fire ants to the point I'll be in the hospital. Don't need another one. Yeah, I wish I could remember the name of that other ant. It was like a needle ant or something weird. But it's in, they said it's in I want to say a half a dozen states or a dozen states already. So I hope that it's not like fire ants, so that it just keeps spreading and spreading. Hilltop Honey says, has anyone ever had a large quail egg with a smaller egg inside? Yes. So much for double yolkers. Yes, I have. I've opened up a large egg, which I figured was going to be a double yolker. And, I was going to eat it, and there was another shelled egg inside of it. So, yeah. And I have no idea what bird laid it, so I couldn't even call the bird. Papa says, I lost all my bees this year. Yeah, that's terrible. I know a lot of people are saying the same thing. I think most of the bees that were lost were commercial breeders or commercial beekeepers, because they're the ones that were taking their birds out to California for the almond pollination, and that's where they were exposed to whatever it was that was killing them. Knock on wood, I haven't lost any bees this year. Actually, I don't think I have had issues with mosquito control spraying in my first year, which wiped out a couple colonies, but ever since then, it's not been too bad. All right. Christopher says, in Arkansas, we can have Coturnix, but all other quail require a permit. Yeah, I think, a lot of states are like that. Because Coturnix, they're considered I know they're domesticated, but they're considered a non-native species. So that they really couldn't survive and breed in the wild. So yeah, it's kind of strange that they're, like even Florida, they're requiring permits now to keep Coturnix if you have over a certain number. So, all right, let's go ahead and do the last giveaway because we're coming up on 10 o'clock, and then we'll take the last few comments and questions and call it good. All right, so this is going to be a giveaway for the guys only this time, or dads only this time, I should say. And it is for your choice of what color variety you want to order from HP. And I believe that's a 30 count. And we are going to, we'll just make it Go for Ridge. Comment hashtag Go for Ridge, all one word, all lowercase. And we'll take a couple more questions while we're waiting on that. But yeah, like I said, it's for the Asian needle ant. Thank you, Holly. Okay, we got some comments coming in for Go for Ridge. Let me go back up here and take a few more comments and questions, and then we'll do the drawing. Restell Hobby Farm says, I have comfrey growing now, but for my rabbits. I'm going to have to look that up because I don't even know what it is. Holly says, chickens love comfrey, but I wondered about quail also. I'm going to have to look it up because I've got my Brahmas out back. Maybe they would like it. Clifton Bucks in the house says, good morning from South Mississippi. Happy Father's Day. Glad you could join us, Clifton. Freight Holler says, yeah, Holly, I have comfrey growing as well. That's why I was asking. If anyone knows, please comment. I would love to feed them some if it's okay for them. Yeah, like I say, I don't want to say that it is, but I imagine if you're feeding it to chickens, I don't see why it would bother quail, but definitely, talk to somebody that knows. And Holly said that it's called the Asian needle ant. Yeah, just what we need. Another freaking ant that bites. Clifton says, we started keeping bees this year for the first time. A friend told us to let the county office know so they would spray for mosquitoes, so they wouldn't spray for mosquitoes close to us. I would never have thought of that. Yeah, I'm actually on a call list where when they spray, they shoot me a text and they call, and usually I don't answer it. They leave a message letting me know that, as a matter of fact, they're spraying tonight. Okay, that's cool. Another one of my ham buddies just commented. But yeah, like I say, my first year, we actually had, I think it was, they were spraying for adult mosquitoes, and right over like 2 blocks from me, there's a patch of woods that's got a lot of low-lying swamp water areas, I guess you'd say. So they spray that pretty regular. And the first year I got into bees, I noticed that the helicopter flew right over my house and was still spraying at the same time. Then he turned around and went back to where he was supposed to be spraying. But yeah, that's when I had, a couple colonies collapse on me. They died from the spray. And I got a hold of mosquito control and, told them what was going on. And they said, well, we can put you on this list and we'll call you and we'll text you and you can cover your bees if you're worried about them. I said, you need to talk with your pilots. Why are they spraying an area that they're not supposed to be spraying? I mean, I guess with the adulticide, they called it, they're not supposed to spray directly over areas with bees, but I don't know. Luckily, knock on wood, I haven't had any more losses from mosquitoes controls. So, okay. Holly Griffith says, yes, quail can have comfrey, protein rich and high in B12. There you go. And I think B12, if I'm not mistaken, is the vitamin that helps with Rhineck. That would be another thing I would look into. But for those of you who are, set on saving a bird that does have Rhineck, this might be an answer for you. Yes, this last drawing is for fathers only, dads only. Yep. Sorry about that, Andy. Yes, guys, only for the drawing. All right. let's go ahead and do the last giveaway, and maybe I can get out of here on time today. Share the screen. All right, get rid of this one. And we'll put in hashtag go. Yeah, now I got to spell it right. GOPHERRIDGE. Go for Ridge. Start collecting comments. Looks like we got 25 people entered into this one. And let's see who the lucky winner is. Papa, weren't you just saying you had some eggs from HP in the incubator right now? All right, Papa. Congratulations on that. You're going to send me your shipping information to KC4TM. That's my ham call sign, my old ham call sign at Comcast.net. I'll put that in the chat room right now. And Papa, go to gopherridgequail.com and look up what variety that you want, because HP is going to let you choose which one you want. So, congratulations there, Papa. A whole bunch of people saying congratulations. Congratulations, Papa. Happy Father's Day. All right, here is my email address, KC4TM at Comcast.net. Papa, make sure I get all your shipping information, even though HP most likely has it. Good phone number, good email address, and your shipping address, and what variety you would like him to send. And I will forward that over to HP, and we'll get you set up again. All right, guys, it looks like we're down to the bottom of the list. So let's go ahead and pull the plug on this one about 5 minutes early. Papa says, big thanks to HP. Absolutely. Papa says, I'm not a ham yet, but I am on GMRS. That's cool. Yeah, I've been a ham since 1971. I got my novice license at 11 years old and been doing it ever since. All right, guys. I appreciate everyone joining us today. I don't know what's going on for Tuesday. Like I said, I am going to be talking to these bee guys, and we'll go ahead and get a bee live stream set up for those of you who are interested in keeping honeybees. And I want to wish all the fathers, happy Father's Day. I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy it. Spend it with your family, your kids. Have a wonderfully productive week, quail friends. Absolutely. And Homestead Matter says, congrats to the winners. Happy Father's Day. But I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Really appreciate it. I will let you know what's going on for Tuesday if we're going to go live. But definitely check back here next week, Sunday. We pretty much do a Sunday morning live stream every week if we can. So thanks again, guys. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.